highly favored one. I appreciate you joining me on the Healing Streams Reflection. The title for today's post is Wrap Up for All the World to See. Beloved, during this particular day, a day after Christmas, the beautiful spirit of Christmas in our home is defined in gifts that have been wrapped up. Young children will always take great delight in picking out perfect gifts under the Christmas tree. Every present was wrapped up to department standards, beautiful paper and bows, and a nearly printed tag with the name of those particular kids to whom the present will belong on Christmas morning. But there was a problem familiar to all mothers: how to keep those presents from little prying eyes until Christmas Day. Most often, the older children grew, the more skilled they become in fretting out the brightly wrapped packages. It didn't matter where mothers or parents hid them. The children would find them, and as they began to learn to read, they will also tell from the gift tags which belonged to whom. When such kids found a present with their name on it, they will examine it carefully as to size, shake it for audible clues, and whisper with a sibling as to its possible contents. And sometimes mothers will occasionally discover that the tip, or some of the kids will discover the tip on the end of the package had been carefully lifted up and the end flap unfolded so as to get a peek at any writing on the end of the box. Well, this called for a new strategy, determined to outwit their own precocious progeny. Some of the kids had a brainstorm. Instead of putting a child name on the tag on each present, mothers would put a number. Then on a careful concealed piece of paper, the mother probably write down the numbers, and beside each number, the name of the child who will get the present. Brilliant. It was much easier to hide a simple sheet of paper than it was to hide a couple dozen presents. You see, the present would be stored, not hidden, until it was time to put them under the tree without the fear of snooping children. You see, the children had no idea which present belonged to whom, and it would work like a charm until the year. The key to some of the mothers' clever gifting strategy, all depending on one thing: the list that matched the number of the gift to the recipient. One Christmas, Morphilo appeared and reminded one of my family's home. And it goes like this: if anything can go wrong, it will. On that particular Christmas morning, the numbered presents were under the tree, and the children were salivating just inches away, waiting for the mother to produce the list. Number 1 is a present for Kweku. Number 2 is a present for Abla, and so on. But alas, the list was nowhere to be found. The one thing that could have ruined the plan happened. The mother had misplaced the key, the secret to Christmas. But guess what? Something totally unanticipated happened. The sense of anticipation and wonder and suspense was heightened beyond all expectation, because now nobody, including the mother, knew what was going to appear when the wrapping came off a present. Fortunately, once she saw it gift, the mother knew who it was for. Even though the mother has never lived down her listed Christmas, the parents gain a new appreciation for the power of wrappings and the thrill of discovery, not only at Christmas, but in all of life. The power of wrapping. That Christians, why doesn't each person just bring the present he or she has purchased and hand them out to the recipient without wrappings. No way. What does the wrapping add to the mix? The same thing we discover in abundance in our listless Christmas: anticipation, wonder, and suspense. The world apparently agrees. Presents without wrappings paper are just not an option, although this will be hard to measure specifically. I read that more than 5 billion is spent annually on Christmas wrappings. That wrapping paper for all occasions account for half the paper produced in the US annually, and that 1 billion trees are cut down annually to produce wrapping paper. As usual, these numbers are so big that it's hard to grasp them. But this much is clear: we like to be surprised. Don't look now, but God has been in the wrapping and suspense business way longer than we have. Think about it. Every single prophecy ever uttered by a spokesperson for God is a promise wrapped in a puzzle. The very first prophecy in the Bible had to do with the coming Redeemer of mankind. And I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. You shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel. Genesis 3:15. God speaking to Satan. Seed. The serpent's seed and the woman's seed. Who are they? Bruise your head, bruise his heel. What does that mean? And when will these things happen? The suspense about the coming Redeemer only increased with the passage of time and revelation of more clues. Perhaps no clues were more mysterious than those saying the coming Messiah will be born of a virgin, Isaiah 7:14, and in the tiny town of Bethlehem, Micah 5:2, a village, little among the thousands of Judah. How could a virgin give birth? And why in Bethlehem? Israel's wisest guessed and speculated, but the wrappings were firmly in place, and only God could tear them off. Even when the Messiah finally appeared, he was wrapped in swaddling clothes. Luke chapter 2 verse 12 tells us, yes, Mary and Joseph and the shepherd could see him. His face was in plain sight, yet the swaddling clothes still represented a wrapping, part of the mystery. If this is the Christ child, why was he born as a peasant, wrapped in the common clothes of a carpenter's family? Where were his royal wrappings? Where was his crown? The power of unwrapping. Every family has had the proverbial box experience on Christmas morning. You know, where little kids have more fun playing with the boxes than with the toys that came inside them. They build forts with the boxes. They use them as sleds outside on a grassy or snowy hillside. They get inside the boxes and spring out like a jack in the box. Oh, the boxes have become just another toy to a creative child. The truth is, it doesn't take too long to explore the depths of many things in our world and look for other distractions, especially a child toy at Christmas. But what about Jesus? The world has been exploring the mystery of his being for 2,000 years and more, and for several thousand years before his appearing, and we still have not exhausted who he is and never will. Getting to know the Son of God is like unwrapping a Christmas present concealed in an infinite layer of wrappings. The deeper we dig into his person, the more we discover what we didn't know. And everything we find leads us to want to dig deeper still, to know more of him than we did before. Why did the crowds follow Jesus and say, "We never saw anything like this"? As Mark chapter 2 verse 12 informs us. Well, because they hadn't and they had not. They had never seen a man heal the sick and give sight to the blind. They have never seen anyone confounded the scribes and Pharisees with his teaching, catching the leaders of Israel in their own contradictions and hypocrisy. They have never heard anyone refer to himself as the bread of life, the door of the sheep, the way, the truth, and the life, or the resurrection and the life. The more they followed Jesus, watching and listening, the more they were able to see he was like no other. He was a gift from God. Jesus was a gift from God. For no one can do these things that you do unless God is with him, says Nicodemus to Jesus in John chapter 3 verse 2. The danger for those of us who have been Christians for many years is that we forget the wonder we felt when we first unwrapped Jesus as a gift from God. Even though we know the Bible stories about Jesus, there are also many other things that Jesus did, which if they were written one by one, I suppose that even the world itself will not contain the books that will be written. Amen to that. John 21:25. As you unwrap your Christmas presents this year, remember the perfectly and infinitely wrapped gift that has come to you from God, the best gift anyone will ever receive, Jesus Christ, God's Son. Thanks for listening. Enjoy your Christmas gift present. But remember, the greatest gift, the indescribable gift, is Jesus Christ, the Son of the living God. Thanks, and I continue to enjoy your celebration. Bye for now.